Hello everyone, in this video I will go over why I really struggle with Asus motherboards, and in general I will be talking about AI features on motherboards. So Asus is like a very, I would say, overclocker friendly, at least its PR is very focused on this kind of things, and it's I think one of the most recognized brands in the motherboard industry. Most people come with Asus or maybe Gigabyte. And so what happens is basically you can see it's from the beginning here. Like when you load the XMP profile, there is something that is optimized by Asus, or like this feature you have, like they call it Asus multi-core enhancement, and this is something like this Asus branded. Then you have this, which is SVID behavior, which turns out is basically pre-applied undervolting, but it doesn't really tell you what it does, so you have to guess. From the description it seems to be undervolting, and all these settings you can go then and see that set into auto, and it's not really clear whether auto is then going to be like Intel specifications or something else that Asus decided to. And the worst thing about this is that, in my experience with this motherboard, playing with it like for 2 days, those settings change during my testing, because basically it seems that AI is training itself somehow, and like based on the failed boots, instead of telling you like boots have failed, it will change the defaults on these settings. So here, for example, at some point I found it was set to 0, and well, that's very good actually. The fact that you actually have this telling you what is happening. And at some point I found this to be 0. Well, this is supposed to be 2 on this particular CPU. But why would it go to 0 if you set it to auto? If like the Intel specification is supposed to be 2. And this is really, really, really terrible for anyone doing this job properly. Because if you're like me and you like to tune with settings, you don't want it to just change between boots without even warning you. Most motherboards with a failed boot will just tell you boots have failed, but this motherboard will not do this. If I set an undervolting offset, which I was doing in order to like keep the temperatures down, and I was booting maybe with -80, 0.080, I would notice that it will maybe fail one boot and then set this to 0.04 all by itself without even warning you. And that makes troubleshooting and like testing, if you have multiple machines going on at the same time, which I do because I have a computer hardware business, extremely frustrating. And this goes on as a like general rule of thumb for anything that is related to EI. So those algorithms are going to be the future for most human jobs and everything, but I'm not really I don't want to be the one that trains them. I don't want my motherboard to be training on them, because at the present moment, especially since it doesn't really explain what it does, I don't want to be part of this experiment. I know in 4 or 5 year times I will not do anything of that. The motherboard will automatically undervolt itself. In fact, I have heard that X299 from AVGA are very good at this, and like they do very good per core overclocking automatically, but not Asus. I mean, maybe it does, but it's really not ready for any kind of like mixed approach. Okay, and then that's it. Let's hope this one finishes. Goodbye.